Hello, how are you guys doing? Thank you very much for joining my channel, and I am Devagaro. This is my fourth installment of my collection reviews. Today we're going to talk about Yeezys, and more Yeezys. Let's go. Today I wanted to discuss the Yeezy Yeezreel 350 V2 in the Yeezreel colorway. So in the last few months, I have heard a lot of people discounting Yeezy, saying Yeezy is dead, they're boring, they're pumping a lot of very similar colorways, nothing catchy, nothing interesting, I'll just go into something else. And while I understand it, I think that we can't underestimate the power of the Yeezy brand in the last couple of years. I think that it's something where it keeps pumping out shoes and different styles and different models, but people are still receptive to it. And I can say that still all of the colorways sell out. Today I want to introduce you to one of those colorways that I am very, very excited about because it does away with all of those critiques. And without further ado, I give you the Yeezy 350 V2 in the Yeezreel reflective colorway. This is what I'm talking about, guys. This is a shoe that will A, get people's attention, number two, turn heads like you can't imagine, and number three, it will do away with all those criticisms that Yeezy only comes out with very, very similar styles. Shall we get into the shoe? The medial side has our traditional 350 V2 rib caging on the side. The upper is comprised out of an interwoven black and lime or volt colorway. As you can also appreciate, there's a side vent stripe, which adds a bit of that pizzazz for the Yeezys. The back of the Yeezreels features a pull tab with a very subdued orange stitching. This iteration comes with rope laces, and I would describe that these are more of a lime type of color, whereas the rest of the shoe, including the midsole and also the inner socking of the shoe, is more of a volt. And the upper side has interwoven stitching with I would say like black. You can also appreciate some of that volt color in the interior part of the shoe. I know that in the last iterations of the Yeezy 350 V2, we've had a bit of a switch up in terms of the center cross stitch in the upper side of the shoe. I gotta say that I would still prefer this more nomadic cross stitching as opposed to the more cleaned up and more calculated stitching that some of the other more recent versions offer. After removing the insole that looks just like this is not an ortholite insole. You can also see the boost poking out from inside. Needless to say, the Yeezreel is optimal for the summer or the springtime. This iteration features a full-length boost encaged inside the midsole. Honestly speaking, I don't think that the Yeezreel is a shoe for everybody. Some folks do not enjoy all the attention, but this one will definitely bring all the attention towards you. If you think that this is a very wild shoe and potentially not for you, you haven't seen anything yet. Because the two additional things that I wanted to share with you is that it features a full-blown glow-in-the-dark midsole and a full reflective upper that lights up when you hit it with a flash. I'll stop right here talking about this shoe in front of the camera, and what I'll do is I'll just put these bad boys on foot and you guys can check it out. Yeezreels is one of the two silhouettes that Kanye West released in December. The other one being the Yeezreels, which had black colorway, also with blues and burgundies. I think that this shoe offers something different to the average Yeezy enthusiast. And it's a great way of saying, guys, we're not dead. We're still here. We're still kicking hard. And we have a lot more to offer. And we can also see it not just with the 350s and an array of new designs which are scheduled and slated to come out in 2020 and 2021. Some of them are the Yeezy 451s or Yeezy 450s, as well as the foam runners, which are rumored to be released in summer 2020. But I definitely think that this is something that needs to keep on going, and Yeezy needs to continue being innovative. Many people have compared the Yeezreels with the glow-in-the-darks that were released back in summer of last year. As a result, I would have thought that the Yeezreel would be a lot more expensive than the glow-in-the-dark, but that's not the case. And it's very interesting because you could argue that the Yeezreel has more features, more pow, more oomph, and more attitude, let's say, more features, more gimmicks, and more tricks than the regular, I would say, quote unquote, glow in the dark. But the difference lies in the fact that the glow in the dark was nuts. The release was absolutely insane. Many people are still scratching their heads, not understanding why the Yeezreel are not as expensive or even close as expensive to the glow in the darks. And the answer to that is very simple and good old supply and demand economics. The glow in the dark was released last year in summer, and I remember it was a very hectic and surprising drop because it was shock dropped around 6 in the morning, and not everyone knew, so nobody was expecting it. And so pretty much if you happen to be paying attention at that time, you had a higher chance of getting it. And on top of the shock drop, it was extremely limited, whereas the Yeezreel was scheduled way earlier. And yes, this is the limited version because it's the full reflective, but the limited quantities were just a lot more in the glow in the dark version. So it's just that, and that's the reason why this shoe is half the price in the resale market than the glow in the dark. Simple supply and demand, that's all. When I was looking at the market just a few days ago, I noticed that it's still not one of the most expensive reflectives. And I think that that's a great opportunity for folks who are interested in the shoe, because anyone who has followed reflective versions of the 350s knows that very easily they can make it to the 600, 700s, 800s, or even over 1,000 euros or dollars. When it comes to sizing, it's very important to pay attention with Yeezys. And what I usually suggest is half size up with your Yeezy 350s, because if you just go true to size, you could get away with it if you have a narrower foot. But for folks like myself who have a little bit more of a wider foot, you definitely want to be half a size up. Otherwise, you run the risk of having to remove the insole so that it's not as snug to your foot and the toes. So if you just don't want to run any risks, I suggest half size up and you're going to be good. I also have the Yeezreels in the non-reflective version, as well as the glow in the darks. It's funny though, because the glow in the darks, I have them half size down because I was still trying to figure out what was my true size at that time with my Yeezys. So if you guys would like to see a review of those shoes or a comparison of all three of them, let me know in the comments down below. So ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comment section down below, what did you think about the Yeezreels? Is it something that you would like to rock? Is it something that's way too loud for you guys? Or do you think that it's just that right balance? And also, I'm very interested in hearing, guys, what do you think about the Yeezreels head to head with the glows? It's a bit of a controversy from what I hear, a lot of people dig more the glows than the Yeezreels, and they don't get too much love. But I definitely think that this is a solid option. And in terms of features, I would even argue that it has nothing to be ashamed when it goes to against the glows. Don't get me wrong, the glows are beautiful as well, but I mean, it's a double stacker here. You have the glow in the dark midsole, and you have the full reflective on top. That's just a killer combo right there. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. With that, we arrive at the end of this review, and I wanted to say a special thanks for all of you guys who are supporting, liking, and helping with the growth of this channel. I really appreciate that, and that is something I'm very grateful for. Thanks a lot for sticking around until the end of this video, and as always fresh, never stress. See you around.